Okay, so here we are again with Ezio, our newly created character. I have gone back and changed a few things looking back on it, but it's pretty much the exact same build. I actually got a much better roll this time, so my stats are looking a bit healthier. But with that said, let's get into the game.
400 years after Tiberseptim's reign, the beginning will meet the end, and the bloody circle will close in the empire of Tamriel. The unworthy heirs of the Septim dynasty have allowed the bonds of the empire to weaken and crack. Uriel Septim, the seventh, cannot repair what his ancestors ignored. The provinces fight among themselves like neglected children, drunk with rebellion. One indomitable power hides itself, but not forever.
Excuse the gloom, but none may know of this meeting. The nature of my trouble is darker still. Over a year ago, King Lysandus of Daggerfall died honorably on the field of battle. He was as loyal a subject, ally, and friend as you are. I did grieve for him, but his spirit does not rest. With a spectral army, he haunts his former kingdom, crying for revenge. I do not know why a good and loyal man would be so cursed. Perhaps you can find the answer and close the marble jaws of oblivion, bringing peace to his soul. I ask this as your emperor and your friend. I have one lesser request. Several years ago, I wrote a letter to the Queen of Daggerfall. It never arrived. The letter was of a sentimental and personal nature. If you find and destroy that letter, I will be grateful. Now, my champion, rest well this night, for tomorrow you sail for the kingdom of Daggerfall.
So those were the full motion videos of the day that publishers were really pushing for. Bethesda was no different. You would have seen them in Command and Conquer and everything like that. So, you wake and look around the room. Some hours ago, you were in a boat en route to Daggerfall when a storm of supernatural strength boiled over the Iliac Bay like a malefic creature. Your boat was destroyed, but you managed to swim through the churning water to a I'm getting destroyed on my English here. Promontory Rock. There you found a cave and escaped the fury of the storm. You had only just lit a small fire when a mudslide sealed you within. Your fear of being buried alive calmed when you saw the corridor leading out of the cavern. Perhaps there is a way out of this cave after all. Once free of this cave, you can begin the Emperor's quest. So in the lore, it's pretty much expected that it's pretty much known that you are the exact same hero from Arena, and that's why you are the Emperor's friend. So he sends you because obviously you are highly skilled. Now, it doesn't really make sense on why we only have a dagger out of that. I just got really freaked out then. Did you hear that weird laugh from there? So that's like the just the noises that come out of the dungeon, but I can't say I've heard that one before. That was pretty freaky. But yeah, so you're the same hero. So, I mean, originally you were meant to be able to actually import your character from Arena. I'm not sure if you would have kept all of your gear. I imagine they probably would have said something like, "Oh, the storm washed away your gear" or something, and that would explain why the game started as it did. But yeah, anyway, so the hero of Daggerfall is the same hero of Arena, which is pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. That is the same emperor as the emperor in Oblivion and in Morrowind and, well, not in Skyrim, but in those two at least. Yeah, he had hair in Arena, and he has hair in Oblivion. He doesn't have hair in this one, so it's possible that he's wearing a hairpiece. It's interesting that they actually cast Patrick Stewart to voice him in Oblivion, and then they added hair to his character when they already had a bald emperor before, so they could have totally have made him actually look like Patrick Stewart. But whatever, you know, I guess we can go if he wears a hairpiece when he's out in public, because it's just kind of a king emperor thing that they probably would have done back then. You know, wore wigs to appeal to look younger and so forth. And obviously, we were seeing him then after hours in the dark, so that's why he wasn't wearing his hairpiece. I don't know. I think someone's probably discussed this lore somewhere, but that's my headcanon for why he's bald and not in the other games. Wow, we got some really sick loot off this guy. So I'm actually running through this beginning dungeon quite easy compared to what a lot of new players might struggle with, and that's purely because I know the dungeon off by heart. It's not difficult. It's unfamiliar is the best word I can use for it. If you haven't played the Elder Scrolls a lot, then I can see how you might be a bit out of your element. Because this is... I say Elder Scrolls. If you haven't played Daggerfall a lot, you'd be out of your element. If you've played like Skyrim and everything, it's completely different in how the dungeons work, so I can see how people might get freaked out. One of the big things is that really discovering the entirety of a dungeon, not as big of a thing in Daggerfall. It's actually, I would say it's not worth it, because you'd have to spend a ton of time trying to do so. Because dungeons in this game are huge. Even the story ones, like this is... So Privateer's Hold is a pre-made dungeon. And so unlike the procedurally generated dungeons, it does make a lot more sense in how it's laid out. It looks like a human's made it, and that's because they have. That does come, however, with... No, that doesn't. Sorry, that doesn't come with anything. It's just that they're still huge. They really loved their huge dungeons back then. You got to think the big games at the time were Ultima Underworld and other dungeon crawler games where you had huge dungeons to explore, and that was almost the entirety of the game was in the dungeon. And so Daggerfall and Arena is from that time, right, where you were expected to spend hours in a dungeon, and it's not expected today. It's not accepted, I would almost say. I feel like if Skyrim gave a dungeon that was 2 hours long, people would complain how long and boring it was. In Daggerfall, not so. It's a different time. Personally, and I would have discussed this in the long videos if they're out yet, but there's a little tweak you can make in Daggerfall Unity to give you smaller dungeons. Not the story dungeons, but the randomly generated ones. They're much smaller, they're limited in their scope, they're much easier to play, and they're honestly way more fun. And that's how I'd recommend... Oh, fuck me. I'm gonna die if I'm not careful. And that's how I'd recommend you play them. But I'm gonna save you. That barbarian took a massive whack out of me. Right. I haven't got any heat. Well, I've got this magic shirt and that marriage. See what this open tunic does. Cannot transport. Cannot. What did that do? It maybe regenerated my fatigue. Something's fighting. You can hear two things are fighting each other. That happens as well in game. See what is. Rat just died, so there's a rat and something else fighting. Alright, so this way there's the way, right? Yeah, that way there's a barbarian. I'm gonna head towards the exit, I think. I'm finding myself in some predicaments here. That rat's fighting. Oh my god. If you're listening to this on headphones, then God bless you, because I am too, and I forgot how scary the dungeons, like the dungeons in this game are terrifying. Really. Oh no! Well, that's gonna happen a lot. That's Daggerfall for you. Yep, I am dead. That's why I made that save. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find this nice secluded place where I can rest. And this is how you heal in Daggerfall. You know, health regenerates like in every Elder Scrolls. It just takes a lot longer in Daggerfall, so you have to wait for it to happen. I'm going to go back and kill this barbarian now. So, my big advantage, oh god, is that I'm fast, right? You can see I can outrun this guy. And that's what I really need to... You can't get upstairs. Oh, fuck. Whoa! But that's how... Ooh. I'm getting some good loot here. That's how I'm going to have to outpace these guys. So, chainmail plus 6. That's better. Heavier, right? I'm guessing I'm going to go with chainmail. Yeah. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put on these chain boots. Yeah. Garib. I might have fucked myself doing a non-magic build. I can't do mark and recall. Luckily, dungeons aren't that big. Even the story ones aren't uncomfortably big, so I should be fine with that. And anyway, if there's any time where I have to navigate back to the entrance of a dungeon, and it's super long, it's not going to be included in the video, so it won't be hurting you guys. It's just my own pain. And secretly, if it's too long, I'm just going to use the console command to teleport to the entrance. With Daggerfall, it's an old game. I feel like it's acceptable to do that. You can just open the console like that and type in commands. Like, I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to use God mode. But there are times where I've been walking around in circles for 30 minutes to find a goddamn entrance, yeah, you can bet I'm going to teleport to it. Right. So I know where the exit is. We've actually already come... We died by the exit last time. That's what I was trying to do when we fought that imp and I got killed with the bat. So that's our end destination. But for now, I'm trying to get some loot. Get some higher level gear. My weapon's an ebony dagger, so we're not going to beat that for a while. But I want some better armor if we can get it. What I'm trying to do here is open this. It does not unlock. Right, so we failed the lockpick check there. Spamming. No, you can only lockpick once. Okay, so you can bash doors open, which is what I'm trying to do here. There you go. Right, we're just trying to get... Yeah, we're just exploring, getting some loot. The story dungeons, especially Privateer as a whole, they are actually designed for you to fully explore them. You can, they're not uncomfortably big. They are... Privateer as a whole, at least, is a pretty decent-sized dungeon. It's an Oblivion-sized dungeon. There's some mines in Oblivion that are like 3 levels big, and you can spend like an hour in there. That's about the size we're working with in Daggerfall, to give you an idea. And that's what we're going to be doing for this episode. Saying that, I think I'm ready to go. We've got full armor. We haven't got any gauntlets, but we've got full armor. We've got some decent gold, 350 gold. We've got some good stuff to sell. You know what? I think I'm ready to head out of here. Yeah. Start making our way out. At this level of interactivity, you barely get this in Skyrim nowadays. The dungeons are... They're not the best part of that. No, that's wrong. I was going to say they're the best part of Daggerfall. They aren't. They're a good part. They are a very good part of Daggerfall. I won't deny that. I'm going to let that imp and that bat fight it out a bit longer. We can go explore what's up here. Oh, the imp died. Wow. Okay, well that makes that easier. Skeleton in here, I think. Oh, fuck me. Come on. Oh. This is how terrifying that noise is. God, he has one hell of a growl on him. Oof. Those guys are rough. Right. Okay. I think we've just got to... Actually, I'm going to take a rest. Enemies nearby. Ooh. Let's go kill this rat. Or bat. Probably the bat, I think, is what's left. I think they might be fighting, actually. In here. The bat. Yeah, this shouldn't be much of a problem. He did kill me last time, though, so I'm going to be careful. Right. Okay. Let's go into the wilderness. And this is the vast, humongous open world of Daggerfall that you can fully explore. And like in that Skyrim presentation, you see that mountain? You can climb it. And you can climb everything here. Now you could argue why would you do that? And yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's not a lot to see. Now there are loads of dungeons, farms, taverns, and the like, but this is a realistic sized world, right? So when the nearest, if I open up my map here, we look where we are. Okay, we're on this orange dot, Privateer's Hold. So directly south is a town, Gothway Garden. So let's go back here. Let's look directly south. Now we could say, oh, Gothway Garden's probably on the other side of that mountain. I'm telling you now, most likely it's not on the other side of that mountain. Not because it's not there, it is, but because it's going to take us far longer than you might expect to get there. So as a little test, what I'm going to do is actually run that, and I'll speed up the footage so that you don't have to just watch me climb this mountain. But I think it'll put into the best way to put into words, it's not words, but the best way to visually show how massive this world is. It's 88,000 square meters. It's humongous. Right. Meet you at the top of the mountain then. Oh, and unlike in Skyrim, yeah, you can just climb this yourself. Look how steep this thing is. I'm just running up this. Okay, we have climbed the mountain. Get over to the crest. Let's look down and wow! You know what? I'll eat my words. You can technically just run straight from Privateer's Hold to Gothway Garden. Never mind. So it is very possible, with a horse as well, when you get a horse in this game, it is very possible to actually play the game legit to a point, right? There are times where you have to travel to Sentinel from Daggerfall. If you aren't going to use a boat to fast travel, oh my god, that would take weeks of real lifetime. Don't do that, but okay. That's surprising. So, literally just north is a dungeon. Interesting. I think I'm going to end it here. I've shown you the dungeon, the starting dungeon, how the dungeons work, we've sort of explained that, and I've surprised myself with the wilderness is actually not too bad to explore and discover things in. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'll be seeing you again in episode 3, where I explain and we fully explore some towns, and we might even start doing some quests. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.